So you have some lyrics, and you might even have some melodies that go with those lyrics, but you don't have music, and so it doesn't really feel like a complete song. That might be because you don't play any instruments, or you're not a producer and you don't know how to make a whole track yourself. That can be so frustrating. I want to solve that problem for you by showing you what I do and record them as well without touching any of my instruments and without being a producer either, because your girl over here is not a producer. Hey singers, it's Laura with VoxTape Studios, where we help singers transform into artists through vocal, songwriting, and artist development coaching to help you get started on the right foot with your career and see success quickly. To show you my process, how I write my songs without touching my instruments and without being a producer, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the computer with you guys because it's all the magic is happening on here. Every time I start a new song, I always start with the track. I want to know what the song is going to feel like, the mood, all that good stuff before I even think about lyrics and melodies and all that. So to do that, I head over to Beatopia.com and I go and find a track for myself. Today, I feel like writing a ballad. So we're going to write a ballad. There you go. Done. So now it's going to show me all the ballads that they have here on this platform. It's a bit loud. I kind of like this one. It's cute. So that's an option. I like it. It's cute. Let's listen to Rain. I actually have a song called Letters, so that's why I'm skipping this one. So. That gives me like major The Greatest Showman vibes. I'm trying to hold my breath. You know, kind of like that. Let's see what the chorus sounds like. Ooh, I like that.
This is Beatopia.
Chorus. Okay, it just doesn't go where I feel like I want it to go. So let's check out Last Cigarette. Oh, I actually already know this one. See, like I have previously liked this one. I have never done anything with it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this one because I already liked it before, so. Yeah. Into the chorus. Yeah, I really like this one. We're gonna do something with that. I also love the idea of Last Cigarette. I don't smoke, I never have, I probably never will, never say never, I know, but a lot of stuff has to happen for me to pick up that habit. But because I don't smoke, it would be cool to write something like, if I smoked, this would be the last cigarette, kind of like it's like the final straw. I like this. So let's listen to that chorus one more time. Going into the chorus.
This is Beatopia.
Cigarette. Yeah, we can do something cool with that. Let's use this. So where did it go? Up here. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and download this. And so next up, I need to open Logic, which is my DAW. So I'm going to go and find this download now. There it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and drop it in here. There you go. I click down on the arrow. It says it's 3.5 minutes. Instruments. There you go. Just one instrument. And it's 60 BPM. So I set my session to 60 BPM, and now I have it in here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this first part so that it starts right on beat 1 and add a little fade in, just so, that's too much, sorry. Just so it doesn't have a click at the beginning. There it is. Perfect. All right, next up, I would create some melodies. So what I do is I just put this on loop. Just repeat, 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 repeat until I can come up with some melodies. Now, I already had some ideas for the chorus, so I'm gonna start with that. So let's go back to this chorus. It keeps going. It would be my last cigarette. So I kind of like something like this where I have the beginning and the end is the same, and in the middle I have something different. I'm pretty kind of stuck on that. If I smoke, this would be my last cigarette. Kind of stuck on that. I kind of like it. Next up will basically just be going through all these other sections, going through the verse, going through the pre-chorus and the bridge as well. What's the bridge? Ooh, I like it. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and create some melodies for this whole song, and I'll meet you back once I have that done in just a couple minutes. All right, so as I was creating these melodies, I actually realized that I wanted to make the verse longer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make a cut here and a cut here, move this back, duplicate this, so now my verse is twice as long. And I'm gonna go in and create a crossfade so that there's no like clicks. So let's listen to that. Dun, 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 dun. That's the melody I created. Na, 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 na. So now it feels like a complete verse into the pre-chorus, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the second verse. The song is already 3.5 minutes almost, so I don't really want to make it any longer. So I'm gonna cut some of the chorus back here and here and make my verses longer, and then it has the shape that I want it to have. So I'm kind of like customizing the track just a little bit. This is not like, I'm not changing, like I'm not adding instruments, I'm not doing anything. I'm just making cuts and duplicating and deleting stuff that I don't want. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so now the track has the shape that I wanted it to have. Next, I will go ahead and actually bounce this because I'm gonna change the tempo of it as well. But because I made the cuts before, I wanna bounce the whole thing first. So last cigarette, cigarette. There you go, bounce. And I'm gonna go ahead and get that track and delete this part because I won't need this. Perfect, here is the track now. Exactly the way I wanted it to be. It is, let's see how long it is. It's a bit longer than I wanted it to be. It's more than 3.5 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make it faster. It's 60 BPM, I'm gonna change it to 62. So I'm gonna go ahead up here and then in here, click on polyphonic, and I'm gonna change this to 62. Now it should be slightly faster. Let's see how fast, how long it is now. So I saved like five seconds, which is not bad. Perfect. I don't want it to be any faster than that though, because otherwise it doesn't work anymore with my melodies and all that good stuff. So this is perfect, just a little bit faster, and I made some adjustments to the track. I have all the melodies. Next up is lyrics. So I already have the idea of like, oh, this is the final straw, it's my last cigarette. If I smoked, this would be my last cigarette, right? So now I'm just gonna go ahead and write some lyrics. I will meet you after I've done that. All right, perfect. So I wrote out all the lyrics. I have like a really specific way of doing it. Like I find out what is the overall topic, then I write about it, and then I go and write some lyrics. I'm happy to do another video on that at some other point. If I do it now, this video will be 5 hours long. And this took me about an hour, the whole process. What we wanna do is actually go ahead and record because we have everything now. We have the track, we have the melody, and we have the lyrics. So what I need to do now is basically plug in my microphone. My microphone is over here. Ta-da, and go ahead and record some vocals. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and then I'll meet you once that is all done. And ta-da, we are done. We recorded the whole thing. So I know this might look a little bit crazy for anyone who has never really recorded before, but what I usually do is I go ahead and record the verses first, then the pre-choruses, then the choruses, just to, like not sing the whole song through 10 times, but rather cut it into little pieces. And so that's what I did here. I did the verses and pre-choruses actually at the same time. So I sang the first verse and pre-chorus 7 times. Same thing with the second verse and pre-chorus 7 times. Then I recorded the chorus, how many times that is, 10 times maybe. And the bridge as well, and some changes and some ad-libs and things like that. And so now everything I need is done. Now basically the only thing that's left is going through all the takes that I took of myself singing the song and cutting out all the best pieces and put it into one beautiful one track. This is called comping. Up until recently, I actually did all of this myself. And I would go ahead and find some plugins to, some reverb, some EQ, some delay, all of that good stuff, and add that on top of the vocals as well. But now I'm actually outsourcing all of this. So what I do now is send this to my audio engineer, and he will go ahead and comp my vocals, add all the plugins, and then mix and master it as well. But you can do all these steps by yourself. Let's say I like this first part, but I like this one here better. And then I like the rest of this. I made a bad cut. There you go. Oops. I need to zoom in just a little bit. There you go. And then I like this pre-chorus. I would just cut it together like this. And then just like we did with the track, go ahead, do this with your entire track. Just listen and see which takes you like the best. And then go ahead and add some crossfade again, just to make sure there's no clicks. So let's listen to this. I have no idea what this is gonna sound like, but. How did we end up in the smoky room again? No click. Thought you promised me you'd let go of pretend. I probably wouldn't choose those 2 takes, but anyways. Oh, there you go. See how that was like 2 people were singing? It's because this cut is not good. See how that's like quieter? So I would add some gain on this to make it match the volume of that one. I still don't like this cut. And move it this way. There you go. I was willing to make deals. And so forth. What I do after that is I go in with some auto-tune. So instead of polyphonic, I will go to flex pitch. And now if I zoom in, you see all the notes I'm singing. Isn't that kind of cool? I love this. This is super fun. How did we end up in the smoky room again? See how this note is not very centered? Let's. There you go. That's already better. Thought you if I move this up here, it'll sound completely different. Listen. Thought you promised me. Whoa! What? Thought you promised me you'd let go of pretend. again, that note seems to never be centered, right? So I would go through the entire thing. Again, for me, this is still kind of like part of comping, just like getting out all the right cuts and making sure all the notes are where they need to be through some autotune. No, there's no shame in using autotune. Everyone does it. And then the next step would just be adding some plugins and playing around with that. So I already have like 2 like general plugins that I use. But again, if you outsource the mixing and mastering, the audio engineer can do that for you. And that's what that's like the only part that I outsource, the mixing and mastering. Not anymore. Now I outsource the comping as well, just to save time. But you can do everything here yourself. And that is pretty much it. You can add background vocals, ad-libs, whatever. It's exactly the same process. And then if you want to take the quality of your recordings to the next level, I would highly recommend that you outsource the mixing and mastering, just so that it sounds a little bit better. It kind of goes from SoundCloud quality to Spotify quality. That's the only part that I recommend you outsource. Everything else you can do yourself. And see, I didn't touch my instruments. I am not a producer. All I know how to do is navigate my DAW. I use Logic Pro X. You can use GarageBand, you can use Pro Tools, you can use FL Studios, you can use whatever it is you want. Just pick one that you like. If you have a Mac, I highly recommend Logic because it's really great. But yeah, just pick any DAW you want to use, get comfortable with that, figure out how to make cuts. And if you know how to do that, you don't really need to know anything else. If you're using tracks from Beatopia, you can actually publish those tracks on, you know, all these streaming platforms as well, which is super cool. And you're not limited with how many streams you can get. So if you are new to writing to tracks, I highly recommend that you check out Beatopia. They're really changing the game for artists who want to start writing songs and release songs, but they can't really afford a producer, or they don't know how to make tracks themselves, or they don't play any instruments. This is a really, really great option. I highly recommend that you check them out. Now, I haven't shared the end result with you simply because I don't have the end result yet. How about we do this? Comment below this video if you would love to hear the end result, and when I have it, I'll share it with you guys. Maybe, if you're lucky. Now, if you're thinking, Lara, that's all nice and good, but like, my biggest issue is I don't really know how to write lyrics. I don't really know how to put those lyrics with melodies and make it sound good. Like, can you help me with that? Yes, I absolutely can. I actually prepared a songwriting for singers guide for you, where we're really focusing on the melodies and on the lyrics, and not really like, this is how you make a chord progression, because it was specifically designed for people who don't know how to play instruments or produce their own tracks. To take your songwriting skills to the next level and write some really great lyrics and melodies, download my Songwriting for Singers guide through the link below, and make sure you use the code Let's Write at checkout to get this guide for just $7. That is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to comment last cigarette below this video if you want to hear the end result of this song, and I'll happily share it with you all. I'll see you in the next video.